Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hermitcraft Season 6. I am back in my base, starting off today's episode in the Davy Jones locker. We haven't been here in a very long time, but seeing those mini block jewel things last time made me super inspired to try and work on our storage situation. Now, to bring you up to speed, we installed a massive automatic storage system way over here though, in the sandy village or sandy city or sandy kingdom that we started building. We installed this thing here, this sphinx, which is super cool, and it has a nice vault underneath it. And I have not used this storage system once. I haven't even configured it yet. It is literally as I left it. It has an input, so that works. And it has an output on the other side. And in addition to that, it has about 1,400. Can that be right? That feels a lot. 1,400 hoppers? That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, this thing is technically fully functional. But I gotta be honest, guys, as I was working on the Sphinx, which I like, I really started missing my underground. This thing is so stupid from the side. Don't worry, by the way, guys. We are going to add to the body. Like, a lot of people said that it looked good, which I thank you very much for. But you didn't like the body of it. And that's because the body is not done. I'm thinking of adding a carapace on the side. Maybe we get to that today, actually. We'll see what we feel like. But long story short, I missed my underground base a lot. I missed my underwater base even more when I did the sandy village. And so what I want to do today, and this is going to be a very tricky one. I may very well in a few hours from now regret what I'm about to say. But I would like to install a storage room here. I don't want it to be fully automatic and fully sortable because I just don't enjoy that type of storage system. I don't think you can't really automate every single item anyway. And we have shulker boxes, so storage is actually not that complicated if you put your mind to it. Anyway, I also, if you guys remember, built this vault. This was the vault for the green headhunt. Now, what's cool about this vault is that whilst the rest of, or the majority of our base is underwater, this is not underwater, which makes it easier to store items. And inspired by last episode's vault doors, I decided I want to try and install a vault underwater. Or I mean a vault door, I suppose. And this creates a few challenges. First of all, the very obvious thing, we can't put buttons underwater. Nor can we put levers. They will just plop off like that. So to trigger it, we need another mechanism. And secondly, redstone and water aren't the bestest of friends, so yeah, it's not gonna be easy to wire it. Now, I've jumped over to my creative test world because I spent about an hour trying to design one of these 3x3 vault doors that would work underwater, and I am amazed. I'm amazed. Check this out. Our button, remember, we can't use a button, so instead I'm using a trapdoor with an observer to trigger this. And I flick that. This opens up. I go inside. Boop. And it closes behind us. So back on the Hermitcraft server, there are a few things we have to change up. Now, mainly I want this to be an extension of our storage room, and I'm not really sure how I'll split the items, etc. at this point in time, but we'll figure it out. You can definitely see that this storage room is overfilled at the moment, and it's very unorganized. I do need to spend some time in organizing it as well. But the very first issue we have here is that this thing is not really centered. So this works for a 1x2 entrance like I had it, but it doesn't really line up with a 3x3, which is what I want to do. So I think I'll have to start by extending this room, and hopefully there won't be any issues doing so. That chest probably has to move with all my greeneries and organics in. Now, in my example test world there, I used gold blocks for this door, and it didn't look bad. I may want to use that here, but for now I'm just going to mark it down with sandstone, and I think that's where I want the door to be. So this would have to be extended a little bit more. I really want to save this cool coral thing that we made because I really like it. So I don't mind it hanging over like that. I actually think that is quite nice. This thing though, I'll probably want to move. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm already struggling a little bit just being able to get this area to a point where I can start working with it, because there is a lot of like flowing water, and when I put down the redstone I need to seal all of that off, but I also do need to sort of travel back and forth here. This is so scary. I literally have water right above me. I had to make some changes in the terrain above me, but so far so good. It is a ridiculous mess at the moment though, but I think that's the top part actually done. This is going pretty well. This may be doable. I may have done it here, you guys, and this is, if so, something I would be very proud of. I just need to choose a block for the door, and I'm gonna try, I kind of want to do coral, but I didn't have any coral. So just to see if this works, I kind of want to try acacia logs, because we've used a lot of it in our base. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. I think I did it. I think I've done it. That is incredible. Okay. So by the looks of things, I can have a block there. I kind of built this backwards without looking at any manual. But yeah, that seems to be working. That is so awesome. Okay, so at this point in time, we should be able to let the water flow through, and I want to create water sources all the way over here. Then on this side, what I did in my creative test world was that I used stair blocks to catch the water. This is not going to be necessary if I were to install what am I saying here? The glass panes and that. Yeah, the glass panes. But I do need to waterlog those. Water base log. What is it called? Waterlog those stairs. Okay, so let's try and close it again. All the water should flush away. Nice. And our wall would come right here. And right here. Let's try opening it. Yes! It works! It works! Not gonna lie, the wiring mechanism to fit everything in took a lot longer than I expected, because I ran into water everywhere. And yeah, this is the final product of the wiring mechanism. It does work, and instead of using a trapdoor on a server, I didn't necessarily like the look of that. I decided to go with a hopper and a T flip-flop, so I turn a pulse into a lever. Once again, I've said that before. And if I chuck an item on there, any item, it's not a key lock on this one, that will open the door. And then to close it, I have to activate the other hopper on the other side, which in this case is over here. And that will close it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, that's very, very, very cool. I don't think there's any errors, which is quite astonishing. With the door completed, I actually spent a little bit more time in the storage room fixing things up and decorating, and I'll take you back there in a minute and I'll show you what I did. I'm actually very proud of it. Just wanted to fly over to the shopping district because there's one big thing I want to do, and then I flew by the G-Team base. It looks absolutely astonishing. Yeah, I got some business over here. Boop. And I've already started here a little bit. You can see these red terracotta blocks up behind the rainbow, behind the shopping district. I've claimed this land, this piece of land here. I'm not gonna tell you guys why though, but yeah, it's claimed, and I gotta claim a little bit more space up here, and this is for a future kind of big project. Yeah, this is a good claim size, I think. Hopefully no one comes and builds within this area. So with that little weird land claim mystery of a huge area there and a smaller area over there, let's head back to the base. So check this out, guys. I have actually done quite a few hours down in the storage room and trying to make it look better, and I'm nowhere near done. But I got this idea. that I think is super cool. First of all, let's look at the door. I added a piece of glass in the middle. It looks kind of odd, doesn't it? But I do like it. It's like the way to look in is really cool. I also changed the trigger mechanism up, so this is actually now a T-flip. Oh no, it was a T-flip-flop in the last clip as well. Sorry, it's been like a day. I record weirdly, okay? But what I did change was a button inside, so I finished up the design inside here. And instead of having the hopper on the inside, because there's no reason for it, I just have a button. But yeah, I'm not sure what I think. I think the glass is kind of cool to look through. I gotta be honest, it's kind of weird looking though. It doesn't look bad. I think it looks really good. Now, you'll see that bubble elevator. This is where the wall used to be, so it's quite a big of an extension to get that door in. One sad thing is that it looks really bad when the door is open. I really don't like it at all. And that's... yeah, I don't know how to solve that unless I do a timer instead of a T-flip-flop. But I kind of want to be able to have it open in case I'm moving around items in here. No. 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 We're going back down the lab now, guys, because I have potentially got a fix for our village breeder system turn on and offer. At the moment, to bring you back to speed on this one as well, we have so many different projects. To bring you back to speed, these guys will not farm if this village is active. And more importantly, if we disable the village, they will not farm until I unload the area. Well, that's not entirely true. They will actually farm this very row of crops, but they will not farm the rest of it until I reload the area. And it doesn't work to reload the chunks like someone suggested. Thank you for the idea though. I actually tried it, but it doesn't do the trick. What we have to do, I've been speaking with Nembum MC about this, you see. And Nembum is a bit of a genius. If you don't know, I keep mentioning him, but he's been around my channel for a long time. He runs his own channel. I do recommend you go check it out. He's a very, very, very good Minecraft player when it comes to all the technical stuff. And yeah, I've been speaking with him a little bit about how to solve this issue. And if we were to move the villager at the moment on this piston actually doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything to move him up on the piston. So the very first thing we can do here is to remove this piston and move him back down. Yeah, we can move him down here again. If I go up here and break this block. Yeah, let's break that block. It doesn't matter if I move him up one block like that. What we need to do is move him 4 blocks above the top of the door. And that should disable the village. And this should be easy enough because we're using rails. The only challenging part with this is the fact that there's water above us. We're underneath water. This is the block of the door. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so if I put him over here on the off signal, that should work. I think. You gotta go on these rails. Okay. And put a block over there. And maybe have something like that there. So he should be stuck all the way up there now. And hopefully he shouldn't be able to get killed or anything stupid like that. This can go away. Okay, so let's flick the lever. The idea now is that he goes back in place and that the village breeder starts working. Because the village breeder is obviously not working in this configuration. So we should... oh yeah, he's over there. Nice! Hello, Johnny! You're back! Alright, so that should have shut this farm off. Well, these guys should start going to the left side. They do. Nice. That is an indication that it is a correct village. They ate all my carrots, like 7 stacks, but no one has made hearts yet. Which is a little bit worrying. So I've been AFK for about 10 minutes. I have unloaded and loaded the area, and these idiots are fed with a lot of carrots. But they just won't breed. None of them get hearts, and they don't get in that lovey mood. And I don't know what to do. I am so confused. Because the village is definitely active. Look at these idiots. They don't farm anymore. I am so confused. But I do want to try to flick this lever again. sending this guy off. Yeah, that worked so beautifully. Sending that guy off, and I want to leave it now up to 60 seconds and see if these guys, without me leaving the area this time, start farming again. That's music to my ears. Yes, it's exactly 60 seconds. And they're actually farming. I don't know what this guy's problem is. There's a lot of work to do, my dude. Don't just stand there. But yeah, they are farming. They are farming. They're definitely, this is a result. This dude and this dude, not so much. Can we get one of them to move away? Yeah, this guy's moved away. And then when did you guys see when I climb back up, he's like, nope, I'm hugging the wall. There he goes, farming. Nice. Okay, so it's definitely working in terms of activating and deactivating the village. That's good news. That's great news, in fact. But I need to figure out, and I have no idea why this wouldn't be seen as a valid village from these dudes when in the on position. It should be the exact opposite. They should be wanting to breed, I would think. So after extensive testing today, I've spent over 5 hours with this stupid thing off camera. After extensive testing, I think, and more chats with MC, by the way, I think I may have figured out what's going on. Now, to a normal idiot like myself, this is extremely hard to explain and to understand. And I'm not even sure if I'm explaining it or understanding it correctly. But bear with me here. We added the rails. We moved the villager 4 blocks above the top layer of the door. That will, in fact, disable the village. And we even tested it with the farmers. The farmers are indeed farming within a minute. Now, the problem is that at the moment, the village doesn't even seem to breed. Like, the villagers here won't breed when the village is on. And that's weird, because it did before we added the farmers. So I started trying to understand this, and a village census is has a 64 block spherical radius. Okay, it's gonna get a little bit technical. That means that a village will detect villages within 64 blocks, and they will be tied to the village. And it has a Y level check of 4 up and 4 down. These guys are 7 blocks down, so they are outside the detection, and the villager right now is 4 blocks up, so he's also outside being part of the village. For some reason, there's a difference between wanting to breed for the village and being part of the village, and that's why village breeding works, but I'm not sure exactly how that works. But long story short, at the moment, from this block here to the top farmer over there, this guy over there, or rather from the top door to this wall of farms, it's 28 blocks. Which means that if we divide 64 by 2 to account for the village size on both sides, we're actually below the 32 blocks that it checks for. So to me, it makes sense that the village... they won't breed because this guy at the very top there, who's standing on Y level 27, same Y level as the doors, is actually within the 32 blocks. This guy is on Y level 22, which is 1 Y level too high for it to not be considered as well. So to me, there is like a big rectangle here, if I understand this correctly, where I draw my crosshair. And these two villagers, the top farmers, in my theory, are what makes the village breeders not breed, because the village breeders are thinking, hey, but we got 1, 2, and 3 villagers in the village of 6 doors, which means that we don't need more villages. So to solve this rather weird issue, I think I'm going to try to move these doors, the whole thing here with the sky access thing, which, you know, when we have the village on is available. I'm going to try and move all of this 5 blocks this way. Okay, so the doors are moved and new sky access is created. Our dude is right over here. And now this should be a valid village without any villager in it at the moment. No, 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 no. God dang it. So in theory, guys, this is where I get so confused. In theory, he's 4 blocks above the door, but he's definitely within the 32 block radius. So if I just put him over here, that should work, right? Let's try it out. Okay. So now he should be activating the doors. I wish that there was a way to check this in Minecraft, but he should be activating those doors. Those doors should be technically a valid village. And that means that these guys should be breeding. They're breeding! They got hearts! Oh my goodness, they got hearts! So the village is working. I know that much. If the villagers get hearts, the village is in fact working. And what about you, dude? No, what are you doing? What are you doing along this wall, you idiots? See, this does not make any sense. They are more than 33 blocks away from the freaking doors. That may be fine. Right now, let's say that the lever is right now in breeding mode. Okay, now we're gonna try and see what the farmers do, because we know that this works. They breed. Oh dear. Hello, thunderstorm. The farmers are breeding. If I now just go up here and switch this guy back to his holding cell and then wait 60 seconds, which is what it takes for Minecraft to register it, do the farmers then start working without blocking sky access, without doing anything else? Let's see. Yes, progress. As the thunderstorm strikes. Guys, I think we got it. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, this has been such a nightmare. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and edit my last 5 hours into like 30 seconds for you guys, because I know we've been working a lot on this village breeder, but this makes me so happy. You guys have no idea. You have no idea. So in theory, no longer in theory. Now we know. All I need to do is power a lever that switches between these two positions. It doesn't even have to be a lever, but yeah, a lever that switches between on and off, and we are set. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to work a little bit on the design of this place. When I finally have figured out all the technical issues that I've been having over the past few weeks, I'm ready to go to the next level, and this place looks absolutely awful at the moment. It's different blocks. When me and Stress started designing this, we were originally planning on just going with the cyan and the white, but then the G-Team base has that same style, and also I've noticed that Mumbo and Grian's bases are both the same, so I want to try and do at least something a little bit different here. I started experimenting with slabbing the floor, and I think I like this. I may even like the smooth stone slabs, a block that I rarely ever use, but I'm gonna be a little bit brave on resources. I want to try and just see how it would look if we would instead have a quartz floor. Would the price of this be worth it, basically? Because this would mean a lot of grind for a skull to get. Yeah, it does kind of look better with the quartz, doesn't it? It's not that much better though. Like, this would still work, I think, if all the other stone in this lab disappeared. But I think I like the quartz a little bit more, which is unfortunate in the way of in the terms of resources. After a lot of resource collecting and a little bit of building with the quartz specifically that I collected, this is what we're sitting with. And I gotta say, I quite like it. It's not terrible. It's starting to take a little bit of shape down here in the lab. And I decided to go with this sort of gray middle row, and then the slabs out on the edges. I've yet to decide whether or not I want to have these bridges, if you will, over to the different areas that requires player input, such as the trading hall, for example. I tried this method out over here for the cocoa bean farm, and it's not going to be symmetrical, and it's not going to line up with the lights. Now, it happened to do that here, but it's not always going to line up to the lights, because these are not built opposite each other, etc. So I'm not sure if this is the best thing to do. I just got an idea, dudes. What if we would add catwalks and then have glass that we walk on up here? Because the last thing I want is for this to obstruct the entire lab. I want it to be sort of visible. So we would have, yeah, pathways like this with gray borders. I have to figure out a lighting though if I do this. It's very important to me that we don't have any spawning spots down here, because that would completely ruin every single piece of the village system that we have built. So yeah, this doesn't line up though with the lights, so I'd have to fix that. But we could have a walkway that looks like this, and I quite like putting sea lanterns in glass when you walk on them. I think that looks pretty fancy. Yeah, this has really taken shape. I just looked at the screenshot of this place before I started today, and oh my goodness, the hours this took has definitely been worth it. I decided to go with the catwalk without the sea lanterns in it, and instead to deal with the light level so that we don't get spawns, I wrapped it in slabs, and I gotta say, I think that looks really cool. Obviously, we'll have lights on the sides up there as we get like farms or whatever we are putting up there. And so, yeah, I think this really works. It's a little bit annoying to have the beacon right in the middle though. That always happens though, it always happens. But that obviously will move eventually. But all in all, I really think I like this style. It is still very much gray, and I still haven't managed to add a color into it. And I don't know what color to add. So maybe you guys can help me out. My theories, or my two primary ideas, would be cyan, as in this cyan, or red, as in a rose bush. One of those two colors, just somewhere, maybe add some lines or something. I'm also not super happy about these pillars, but maybe they will stay. I also experimented with knocking out the iron doors that Stress had been putting up for her farms, and instead just opening them up, and I think that looks a lot better. It just makes a lot more sense as well to me. But all in all, I think this looks really cool, and it feels really good to to have cleaned up all the garbage, stone, etc. that was just kind of obstructing my feeling for this place. I also fixed the ceiling. And yeah, well, that's about it, I guess. That's about it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. But that's gonna do it for today, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're brand new, consider subscribing. And I will see you dudes in the next episode.